Hello, hello. Welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you are. And my name is Johan Stradat, and today is the 11th day of our 21-day challenge in Awaken Your Spiritual Neurons Empire. So, just to remind you that I am recording live on YouTube and at the same time, I'm recording on Instagram on the channel Awaken Your Neurons Empire 2023. All right, so let's get started. Yesterday, we had an opportunity to talk a little bit about the chemistry of our bodies and how that chemistry is altered because of our thoughts, because of our feelings, right? And everything that happens when we learn also in either stressful environments or in pleasant environments, which constitutes what is called the fight and flight or flight, actually, which is the alertness or the rest that our nervous system actually gets activated when we are in either or situations. So, whenever we are on a stressful situation, all of our organs they get activated, they get kind of like tighten up, right? And they start overworking. Um, One of the things that today I want to bring to your attention is not only the chemistry that is being going on in your body because of the stress, but also I want you to bring your level a little bit up to your thoughts and to your feelings. And I want you to start noticing, right, how many thoughts you are actually feeding your brain with information that is useless. There is a scientific study that proves that on a daily basis, we human beings have to deal with like around 80,000 thoughts a day. Okay, so we're talking about a lot of thoughts, which are combined, of course, with feelings. But the thing is, right, 80,000 thoughts a day. Um, what is it that we think so much? And how is it that our brain is actually trying to manipulate or control or manage 80 between 70,000 and 80,000 thoughts a day? That's pretty much what the studies say. Uh, and one another study, there is a very interesting Brazilian author, which is a psychiatrist. His name is Augusto Cury, and he recently made a study in which he determined that the general population over the world is suffering what is called the accelerated mind syndrome, which is precisely the overthinking that we are actually putting ourselves on a daily basis. And let's think about this. When we're talking about 80,000 thoughts a day, right? 80% of those thoughts are negative thoughts. We are living in a society, right, surrounded by negative social media, negative and, of course, many times fake news, and all those aspects we are actually absorbing in our minds, and we are actually taking all those negative feelings about news, about what's going on in the world, about uh, even scams and fake things that are going on in terms of consumption, right? So that all those things they actually make your mind uh, work faster, think faster, right? But at the same time, um, we start living in a situation in which everything that we're feeding in our minds is polluting, is toxic, right? So we're not only talking about news, we're talking about the wasteful thinking that it is originated, right, from our own perceptions, our own limited conditions and beliefs. What I want to say with this is part of our thoughts are based on repetitive thinking, sometimes invasive thoughts. Sometimes we're talking or thinking about um, how do we need to get things done. And here's where the majority of the cases we're living in a world that is highly competitive. And competition is not only causing people, right, to fight for a place in which they can actually fit in, but it is forcing the humankind to compete to be accepted. Therefore, they have to become perfectionists if they want to actually get a position or get, to the top. And if you think about it, competing, comparing ourselves, um, being perfectionists at the point in which the only thing that our mind does is just trying to get into a place so we can somehow survive is causing tremendous amounts of stress, anxiety, and guess what? It all connects to what we were talking yesterday about, the toxic chemistry that happens not only in our brains but also in our bodies, right? So the fact that we are having to deal with those excessive amounts of thinking, they're not only putting us, right, into an accelerated uh, thinking syndrome, but is also forcing us, and I'm talking in general because I have fallen into that situation many times, and I see that in society. I see that in youngsters today, that the stress that is caused by the environment, the stress that is caused by the fake news, by the media, by the um, fake social media, even though that we see every day, right? When we try to compare, the virtual reality or the virtual um, heroes in other people's Facebook profiles, for instance, what is leading to us is that once we have that path of chemical reactions that produces stress, we want to automatically hide away or unconsciously hide away from them. And what do? We actually look for um, things that produce pleasure so our organism can somehow, protect himself from all those stressful situations. And that's when we get into the dopamine boosts also that we were talking about yesterday. Because of the overthinking, right? We get so stressed out that we have the need to what? To go and smoke a pack of cigarette. Some people, they actually go to other sources, to boost their dopamine in order to lower their anxiety and their stress levels, which is consuming drugs. Some others consume social media. Some others, they actually consume um, pornography. And the list actually goes and goes and goes and goes. Something that I want to bring to your attention as well is the following: is one of the reasons why overthinking produces a lot of stress is because our mind uh, gets convoluted, or it gets activated on kind of like a conflict between our desires and the conditions of the environment. So this is something that I actually write in my book, in which I, I put a couple of stories. One of them was, of course, my dopamine, my personal dopamine boost, which you're gonna have a chance to read. But of course, as a reference to make you aware that those dopamine boosts, because of the stress, they create a conflict of mind, right? From one side, we are thinking on everything that we want to do, everything that we want to achieve, and on the other side, we are listening, right, to the voices that usually tells us, no, you're not good enough, no, you cannot do that, or no, you're never going to get to do that because that's right or that's wrong, or whatever the conflicts and the conditions that we have put in our mind, they get activated. So we are having this battle between what is right and what is wrong, and that is what is actually causing our stress on a daily basis, right? Think about in terms of how that chemistry that is being liberated in our bodies and in our brains, right, is affecting not only ourselves, but is also affecting the environment around us, right? And it seems that every day what we see is more anger, more um, comparisons, and of course competitions among people because of the conflict of thoughts that we're having. And this is something, believe it or not, we don't see it only on regular people, on households and families. Now we see it in the corporate world, we see it in regular business, we see it everywhere. And I'm not trying to be negative about it, or bring you like a negative message towards that. I am bringing you the reality of the world that we are surrounded and the environment that we are currently uh, putting ourselves. Okay, so why is this important for our not only mental health and emotional and spiritual and physical health? Because we need to start realizing, right, how much of the thoughts and the thinking and the feelings that we are having on a daily basis are really being beneficial to ourselves, right? And how many of those thoughts are not. So if we are saying, you really need to stop for a moment and try to make a list of all the things that you think on a daily basis that are really wasteful. I mean, is it really necessary for you to pass to a situation in which you have to repeat, the same negative thoughts day after day, minute after minute, hour after hour? So if you are getting caught into doing that, maybe it's time to start rethinking, right? What are the thoughts that you want to change? Because believe it or not, having such a negative influence from our environment, from everything that we're receiving with our five senses, in terms of, again, fake news or media or whatever, right? The only thing that is doing is preventing us from creating our own potential dreams, right? And something that is interesting is that the more we spend time on social media, on wasteful social media, or in wasteful fake news, the more time that we spend on things that they're not really worth of time, it means that the longer it's actually taking us to achieve whatever we want to really achieve. And remember, this is um, a series in which we are talking about how do we transform old habits, right, that are not serving a purpose, and at the same time that they're not being productive, right? How do we change that, right? So somehow we have to take the action, or we have to start taking the action of moving towards our goals by making them happen. Okay, and by making them happen means that we need to create new routines, right? One of the routines, you're going to notice that today, right, I haven't kind of like shaved, so I'm not in the best business suit or anything like that. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I went for my daily run. And this is something that I actually am doing, not only to get the discipline that I need, right, to maintain my health, because at some point in time I need to do health, I need to do exercise, I need my blood flow, right, flowing around so I can have better ideas, so I can actually think clearer, and of course, so I can maintain my state of spirit. So that is one of the routines that I have to do on a daily basis. And then after that, of course, I go into meditation. I do my gratitude uh, sessions with my personal inner self, with God. But those are the things that I keep as my rituals, let's say, to help me be conscious and to actually get aware during the day, right? That those are the things that are really important, and those are the things that are uh, most meaningful, right, to my personal development, and that I need to get focused on that personal development if I want to get to achieve what I'm trying to do, right? But one of the things, of course, that I'm doing is 21-day challenges. By sharing information, by sharing knowledge, and by doing this series with you live, right, is part of the discipline that I am creating on, let's say, a focus that I am concentrating to be able to make notes, to add and make corrections to the draft of the book that I am writing, right? But in order to do that, I have to be conscious and I have to create meaningful thoughts, meaningful feelings at the very beginning of my day so I can actually focus on what I consider that is important. At this point in time, to me, is important to be sharing the knowledge that I have with you. To me, at this point in time, is very important to be able um, to pass information as much as I can with some sort of sense or logic that calls your attention, and also that it helps me to bring ideas and creative thoughts, right, that are going to help me to write a good book that hopefully it will make a difference in your life, and it's going to be, of course, make a difference in my life. So again, how do I choose what to think, what to feel during the day is very important, not only for my wealth, but also for my personal health and for the dreams that I want to achieve. So, the invite and the challenge that I want to bring to your attention today is I want you to start paying close attention at the many thoughts and the many activities that you're having in your brain. What is it that you're feeding your mind, and what is it that you are spending your time on using your brain? Are you using it to read, to study, to get new knowledge, or are you using it to sit in front of a laptop to play video games for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours? Are you spending more than 5 hours on your cell phone just looking into social media and scrolling up and down information that really doesn't serve your purpose. Those are the things that you need to actually make a list of all those habits, right, that are making your thoughts, your feelings, even your emotions, to get activated into repetitive habits that are preventing you from moving forward, from taking actions on a better and a positive ways to create something meaningful. Okay. And in order to do that, of course, you have to have a clear vision of what is it that you want to achieve. Once you have, sit with a piece of paper and write everything that you want in your life, you need to start also getting the awareness of what do you need to exclude from your life that is not going to serve that purpose and those goals and those dreams and those things that you want. Okay, so take some time today, drink a lot of water, breathe, of course. Breathing is something that is important. So are you breathing? Are you implementing that as a regular routine on a daily basis? Okay. Are the positive insights that you have gained from the previous series, are they making any sense to you? Are you being able, to start putting into practice some healthier habits? Are you paying attention to the food that you eat? Okay, those are the kind of thoughts that you want to really start working in your mind so you can actually start doing those transformational processes, right? Remember, one thing that we talked is transformation doesn't happen from one day to the other one. Transformation is not based on quick results. It's not based on taking a pill today and then tomorrow you're going to feel great and you're going to be thinking different and you're going to be achieving all your dreams. No, it actually takes a process. It takes time, it takes effort, it take it takes even money sometimes on actually doing a course or doing something that is going to give you the tools and the knowledge, right, to get to where you want to go, or whatever it is that you want to achieve, right? So those are the things on the self analysis that we have been talking in the last couple of days. Okay, so next series, right, is going to be a very interesting one. So spend a good day today, right? Continue with your self analysis, but aim your thoughts in regards to the self image that you want to create. And I'll see you in the next Awaken Your Spiritual Neurons Empire series. Have a blessed day and have a good one. Bye bye.